Alright, welcome to your first real tutorial in computer apps class. This video will help you through your first assignment, and if you log into our class Moodle page and you scroll down, you'll see that currently we are in the Microsoft Word unit. And I'm going to assume a number of you have some familiarity with Microsoft Word, but we're going to just dive in then and create in Microsoft Word a flyer. And now the section I highlighted there is a page number. Actually, we have a textbook, we have a classroom set of those that you can refer to if you think that will help you while we create this flyer. And you'll see as we get into it that there are page numbers for the how-to of each of these steps. What you see in front of you right now is kind of an example of what we're looking for. Each of you has a talent. Everybody's got some sort of talent that they could share with the world, and maybe they could offer it as a service. So this is an example of a flyer I could put out. I'm pretty good at math, and so I could offer my services as a math tutor. Maybe you really like kids and you want to create a flyer to advertise a babysitting service that you could provide. Or perhaps you're good at mowing lawns and you want to send out flyers. When I was in high school, I actually did this and sent out a number of flyers around my neighborhood, got a number of people who wanted me hired me to mow their lawns, and I had about 10 different customers, $10 a lawn. I was making about $100 every couple weeks every time I'd mow their lawn. So it is something you might actually want to use. Of course, you don't have to make it something that you're actually going to use. Last semester I had a few people create flyers like how to slay a dragon, or your dragon slaying service, or wizard training, or crazy things like that. So certainly you can have some fun with this. Alright, so let's look back here at our assignment. If you click on that link, you'll see what you're expected to have. You're expected to have, first of all, a headline. That headline, you'll find instructions for that on page 37 through 40. And really, what I'm talking about when I say headline is that I would like some sort of title. Some sort of big, nice looking heading. Kind of like this Staples Math Tutoring. The second thing on that list is this descriptive body copy. Get a lot of questions about what descriptive body copy means. Well, it's really just that descriptive paragraph. You'll see on here I've got a short little paragraph, kind of enticing the reader to read on. Doesn't have to be long, but let's put a little thought into that so it looks nice. The third thing that you need then is the signature line. The signature line is just the line so that people who get your flyer know how to get a hold of you. I think on this one you'll see it's actually a hyperlink down at the bottom there. You can't see it because the tools came up there, but you'll put your number or an email or some way for somebody to get a hold of you. The next things you'll need then are an appropriate photo or image with border or other effect, and credit given if necessary. So you need some sort of picture on there. Makes your flyer look a little more appealing. This picture is a picture of me. It's actually at the top of a mountain. I think it's Mount Bierstadt in Colorado. But the picture is mine. I own it. So I don't need to put any credit down for that. If you don't own the rights to the picture, if it's not a picture of you, or if it's something you get from Google Images, then somewhere probably near the bottom of it, probably you can even kind of hide it off in the corner down here or something, you should put the URL where you got the picture from. That way at least you're giving credit to whoever took the picture. The last two things you should have on there, you should have a little bulleted list and a page border. If you look at what we've got here, we've got a short little bulleted list, just some very brief snippets for those that don't like to read a whole 3 sentences of your body copy. Just some really quick important points. And then of course the page border kind of makes it look a little bit more professional. So let's get started. Obviously, to get started, we're going to need to open up a Microsoft Word document. So you can click on the Start menu down here. Nice thing in Microsoft Windows 7 is that you can quickly search for programs. So I just type in Word. It's going to be the first thing that pops up. Hit Enter and open the program. So if you remember, the first thing that we needed was this headline here. Headline and then a descriptive body copy. So let's just say for this example that we're going to actually use lawn mowing. So I would need some creative title. This is not going to be a creative one, but I'm going to say lawn mowing service. The first thing I need to do is probably make it big. There's a lot of default style sets that you can use that will have a whole bunch of default settings for you, which are kind of nice. I'll go with perhaps that modern one, and then, you know, what do I want for my title? Probably the title service. So I'll click on title, makes it big and makes it a certain color. Of course, most of you are probably quite familiar with, you know, going into the font tools up here, changing the color if you want, changing the font size, the font, etc. And of course I do want to center my title. The next thing I need is some sort of body copy. So I'm going to take a second here and quick type up a paragraph. And just like that, I've typed up a quick little paragraph. The next thing that you will need is this. Well, let's skip the signature line for right now. I want to do this bulleted list. The bulleted list is just a quick list of important features. The bullets you'll find are up at the top if you've never used them, and we can just create a bulleted list. So I'm going to say only $10 for an average size lawn. Alright, and I've quickly added a few other things while you were away. So I've got a quick bulleted list for somebody who wants to see these really quick. Next thing I probably want to do is maybe add a picture. But you'll notice that on mine, on the first one that I showed you, I kind of had these bulleted lists in 2 columns. And there's a couple ways you could do that. One, you could do it like I've done it. I put 3 bullets down, and then I can highlight it, go up to page layout, do the number of columns, and do 2 columns, and that'll split it up like that. One of the other ways you could do it would of course be using text boxes, and I could put another text box. So insert, where did my text box go? Insert a text box, you know, and actually put that. Oops, I deleted my other stuff. Should have done that. Try that again. So insert a text box. It'd be just another way of putting text somewhere over here, and then of course I could put in a bullet point there and say smiling face or something. Of course the default there has a border, so I would need to go in and format my text box. My shape outline, I wouldn't want anything. My shape fill, I would probably want no fill. So anyway, I just quickly changed that so it looks like I've got another bullet point. So 2 different ways to kind of accomplish the same thing. Alright, so let's talk about the picture. The picture, I probably want to find some nice picture about grass. So I might go to images.google.com and I will type in grass, and let's see what pops up. Oh, that is beautiful. So maybe I want to use a picture like that for my flyer. So I'm going to grab that picture, and I can just it's probably better if I click up here and go to the full-size image. That'll bring me to the exact exact web address where I got this picture. Anyway, I'll copy it. So I'm going to copy my image and jump back to my Word document. I'm going to paste it. And now this picture is really just an object, and I can click on it and I can center it. One of the requirements was that I do some sort of border, and there's a bunch of picture borders and such that are default settings for this picture. You can certainly pick one of those. You could go in and you could make a whole bunch of other changes if you wanted to get more specific with it. You know, you can change the shape of the picture and whatnot. But in general, the nice thing is that they've got some Windows has some default ones built in. So I'm going to use that. It's got that nice little rounded edges and a little bit of a shadow. Near the bottom, now notice I clicked outside of it. I'm going to hit enter. I'm still centered. I do need to take this URL and paste it in there. This is giving credit to where I got the picture from. But I don't want that so big because that looks kind of hideous, so I might move it over to the side and probably make my font. I might even go a little bit smaller than that. I'm going to go all the way down to 6. That way I at least gave credit to where that picture came from. I'm going to hit Control Z because I don't want it to turn into a hyperlink. I'll click normal so it will turn my style back into normal. And I believe the last two things that I need to do, let's go back and take a look at our list. That was over here. We have a headline, we have a descriptive body copy, we have the bulleted list, and the picture. So what we still need is a signature line and a page border. So let's go back to our document. For our signature line, sometimes you'll have some nice built-in headings like or styles like this with a nice background. I'm going to go down a couple rows, and I'll probably use this one for now and type in Carlton at 6116, and you certainly don't have to use your actual phone number. I'm putting my actual one in there. Call me if you're so interested, or send me a text, and I might center it. And now I've got that little tagline at the bottom. Other ways to do that. Let's undo that. You could type, so I'm going to type this up, Carlton at 6. Okay, so I put my information in there. I can change the style other ways too, other than just choosing something that's default or one of these. I can change my font color if I want. The highlight will only highlight the portion that I have actually typed. It won't actually go all the way across. So if I want it to go all the way across, well, then I can use one of these background colors. I do want to make my font white. I know I'm actually kind of mimicking what I actually had there, but we'll make it a little bigger, and maybe we'll center it. So a couple different ways that you can go about making your tagline stand out. You can use this paint bucket to put paint color behind your text. You can also use the font color to change the font. Just make your tagline look nice. So that leaves us with our last step, which is to add a page border. You'll find the page border if you go up here to this tab here, this page layout tab up at the top. Click on that, page borders. You end up having a lot of different choices. One thing you've got to make sure you choose make sure it doesn't have the setting of none, because then it doesn't matter what you change here, there's not going to be a page border. If you wanted, you could individually select it, which side you want page borders on, but I would probably just choose the box. The style, you can have, a pretty typical page border style. You can change the color of it if you want it to look a little bit nicer. You kind of get a little preview over here. If you want to, you can also use some of these artistic ones. Most of them I'm not terribly interested in, but perhaps you can find one that suits you. Play around with that. I actually think I'm going to go with this one and with a blue border. That kind of fits with my theme colors. Click OK. And now I've got this nice little border around my flyer. and it looks like I'm about ready to print it. So if you get it finished, save it and submit it on our class Moodle page.